Hello. This is
Hi,
Coffee, Tea, and Consciousness.
I'm Mel,
Good morning. I'm Ann, and I
and
got my
today we're going to
coffee.
talk about Annie's got a coffee. I do not have my tea because I tooth pulled last week and I'm really struggling still. And so hot things are hard in my mouth. So I have to drink water,
hmm
which is probably good because I'm taking so much ibuprofen and it's got to be filtered through your kidneys. And my kidneys probably really need a lot of water.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so what are we going to talk
Eh,
about today, Annie?
Okay. So I think we should talk about beliefs just came into my mind. That wasn't where I was going, but that's what came in.
Okay,
So let's
let's
do
go there.
beliefs. Our
We're going to talk
belief
about
system,
belief systems,
hmm
how they affect us, how they shape us,
where
where
we
do they
pick
come
them up
from,
at. Yep.
how do we let them go?
Yep.
Okay, I should make notes of these things you wanna cover.
hmm
Alright, Annie, you can get us started talking about beliefs. They've been on your mind a lot.
Yeah. When I first started the awakening, I just kind of thought, oh, you can recognize it and just magically it disappears. And in some cases, when they're not that tight of a belief, it's easy. They can just kind of float away. You acknowledge it. But I've recently, I didn't want to show my vulnerability. So I kind of put a wall over my heart so I wouldn't be hurt, which makes me want to cry. And where did that come from? And I was a very sensitive kid. I cried a lot. My daughter is very much like me, which I can understand. It gets frustrating as the parent because you just want them to stop crying. And so I get it. But when it's not acknowledged, and I think it's a big thing, like, from talking to my husband, our parents, were kind of disengaged. I mean, I was a latchkey kid. My mom, she, went into her own little world. My dad traveled. So what is that? I don't know, just not getting the attention. And they I don't think talking to your kids about emotions was a thing, not like it is now. And so they never tried to understand why I was upset or whatever. So I started putting up a thing, like a barrier, because so then I wouldn't feel the hurt of that, of being kind of ignored, I guess, or my feelings being ignored. And so that's been something I've been working on. And a lot of that obviously was childhood.
But how did that shape
Start
your beliefs? Like, how does that
Well, it
factor
made
in?
me it made me not wanna show vulnerability,
Yeah,
just acting like things didn't bother me, but internally, they really bothered me.
right.
But I would keep my feelings inside instead of sharing them, so that I mean, I've cried more in this fucking last year or 2 years than I think I've cried in a long time, just of releasing it, acknowledging it. So it's been a big thing, and I was super pissed with my parents, and I went months without talking to them unless for some reason they would call me. And I've gotten to the point where I can now not just see different things that hurt me, and some of it, some of it's not intentional. Like when your grandma said something and you took it in and it became some kind of a belief system in you. You
Mhm.
remember?
Yeah, I do remember.
Sometimes it's something super small, but it takes root. And the
Yeah,
person might have just been saying it walking by, and it, didn't mean really anything, just was talking,
yeah.
but it gets taken in. So, but now I've gotten to a point where I'm starting to show more vulnerability, like with my husband. I would kind of keep stuff in. I would show him my angry side, but not my soft side. Whereas my soft side is starting to come out more. But I can now see both sides, that I did have a good childhood. I mean, if you looked at my childhood, it was great. But even that, you still pick up shit. You pick up your parents' stuff and take it on as your own. And some of the stuff you're supposed to, so that you can work through certain things. I mean, very complex, let's just say.
Well, face it, it is complex. Yeah. And the reason I was wondering is because I wondered if the belief system that was created from you
Mhm.
sort of needing to shield your emotions, your vulnerable side,
Mhm.
what was the belief system that do you think was created? Was it that no one's gonna bother listening to you? So you just aren't gonna
There was
keep,
some of that.
say it? Was
Mhm.
part of the belief system that you're not important?
There was some of that, because I do know I felt like my brother was always put first. He was the golden child.
Yeah.
And I have told them, I'm like, "I don't understand why you had another kid." And they're like, "Well, we actually planned you." And I'm thinking, "I don't understand why."
Yeah.
I mean, my higher self gets it, but like, my human self is like, "I don't get it. You shoulda just stopped."
Right. You would have been happy with just the one.
Yeah, but I did find out something because I always thought my dad started traveling a lot once my brother went off to college because he's 7 years older. But I did when my brother was here, we were talking, and it did or no, when my parents were here, and he was traveling a lot, I guess, back then, like, when my brother was there too. It just didn't for whatever reason, maybe it was
You
my
didn't
age, I
notice.
didn't notice it. It wasn't as noticeable, I guess.
Right. And maybe because you always felt alone
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway. So whether he was there or not, didn't even not that it didn't matter, but maybe you always just
Right.
felt alone.
Mhm.
And so
Like I
now
yeah.
when you
Mhm.
share your vulnerable side that you're learning how to sort of see and tap into,
Mhm.
it's how is that going, right? So, like, what do you notice from
I
other people when you do that?
well, it's mostly just my a lot of it's with my husband, but there's a lot of crying, and luckily he is, he's good at letting me do it, but it is, like, a lot of crying, like and I'm hoping at some point I can get to the point where I don't fucking cry every time,
Yeah,
like, and I do but there's still a part of me, and I noticed it, like, there was something I wanted to say to him, and I haven't, part of it because I don't want like, to upset him, but then there's another part that's like and it's not my job to worry about if it upsets him or not.
right.
Like, because that's him and that's showing him something he needs to work on or look at if it really upsets you.
I would ask Jimmy and Tony and any partner or spouse who's
Mhm,
had their partner or spouse go through a spiritual awakening.
mhm.
How annoying it is. Like how
Oh,
annoying it is when I say to Jimmy, "Sorry, but I'm probably
I'm gonna
meant to
say
hurt
a
your
thing.
feelings right now." Right? Like, "Sorry for you, and no, I'm sort of not gonna help you through that. I have faith in
Right,
you. I have faith that
right.
your higher self has got you right where they want you, and they're looking to eat you." I mean,
Mhm, mhm,
but I bet you it's annoying for that
mhm.
partner because Jimmy will sometimes say,
I just wanna
"What?
do a thing.
Oh my
Right.
god, do we not have to overanalyze? Do we have to look at the harder side of everything?" No, it's not always the
Mhm,
harder side.
mhm,
When you're talking, I had a belief system that I didn't even know I had.
mhm.
I had a belief system, Annie mentioned, we did a reading one time and my grandma came through. I can't remember why it all happened, but anyway, grandma came
Uh,
through and I have been fun my whole life. I mean, I am you don't maybe I am so fun.
mhm,
I'm a dick. God, I love being an asshole and I am so much fun when I'm in general. I'm a pretty fun
mhm,
gal.
mhm,
But I've always been sort of ridiculed for my funness, and I have always thought that I should be more serious, and it stemmed from this offhanded comment my grandma said to me when I was watching literally it was the guy the '80s movie with Patrick Swayze and
Dirty
the Dirty
Dancing.
Dancing.
Mhm,
I I don't even know why that was on, but we were standing in the kitchen and that was on, and my grandma said something to me, and I didn't realize that I had been holding this I shouldn't be fun belief system in me
mhm,
for my whole all of my I was probably 11 or 12 maybe when I watched that movie, and
mhm,
I'm now in my I'm 52, 53, 50 something, and
mhm.
I held that until then and had no idea it stemmed from that statement. And I would have thought that's not true. I would have thought, "Oh no, I think I
Yeah.
should be fun."
Mhm.
It's a sometimes beliefs you don't even know you have. I didn't
Yeah.
know I had that one. I have thought and consciously thought I
Mhm.
probably should take things more seriously or I should tone down the fun. As a matter
Mhm.
of fact, you wouldn't people that know me don't know how much I struggle with it internally, and I could cry
Mhm.
because it feels like even though I know joy is a part of my journey,
Mhm.
being joyful, feeling joyful, sharing joy, I still think if that's who I am, no one is ever who would wanna listen to I call myself it isn't that I'm putting myself down like this ding dong. It doesn't feel like I'm putting myself down. It feels like I don't fully understand yet how I can be myself and I take things really to heart and very seriously and also have a good time
Mhm.
sharing it, talking about it, laughing about it doing the jig in the room. Yesterday, when I took the
Mhm.
girls to the sewing camp that I'm taking him to, I was listening to Yo Diggity, and I
Oh,
am in
yeah.
the car looking like a total douche. I love it. It's
Mhm.
so fun.
Mhm.
I think, "How fun!" And also, no one would take me seriously. That's how it feels, and I didn't
Well
know that that was because of that statement that my grandma made,
well,
who
and I
never
think
said it to be mean to me.
you're showing me where I'm supposed to be going
Yeah,
because I've always been serious
right.
and, and it's not like who I am deep down inside,
Yeah,
but I took on that because also, like, you're supposed to do things a certain way and you're supposed to act a certain way and all of those things, and my parents are very my dad especially, I mean, he's fun, but he's very serious, like,
yeah.
he's pretty and so that part and Tony's a lot of fun. I think he's hiding a lot of shit under his fun, but and that's not for me. Thank you. But I'm shown that a lot, and then yesterday, I wasn't feeling good and said the release, and it's to open up to the joy
Yeah,
within me and stop and get out of my head and get into my heart,
yeah.
and so it's interesting, right?
And I think to myself, "Why do I care? I do nothing." I
Mhm.
mean, I do
Now
readings, I do nothing now, but I
mhm.
thought I needed to really be somebody. And
Well, and they said in a reading that you're not it, like, you don't go to Mel and ask her, like, the question like, you go to Jimmy and talk to him about the serious shit,
yeah, I am
right?
not it. Yes, that's true. They are really clear when they give me images, many of them come in cartoons. And I don't judge it about myself anymore, but I am curious how I can fully bridge that belief, right? So I can consciously see that it's there, that I have this belief that I can't be fun and be taken seriously. And then I think to myself, who the fuck cares if people take me seriously? Who needs to take me seriously?
Mhm,
No one needs to take me seriously. I don't need to be taken seriously. So why is it a thing that I'm bothered by? And partly it's because I'm coming into this my purpose, my spiritual, my soul purpose. I'm
mhm,
not I don't fully embody it right now, but I'm
mhm,
coming into it. I can see it sometimes. And so then I think can I say things that spirit shows me
mhm,
in a way that is fun and funny, but also in the way that can be a total asshole and kind of a dickhead about it? Like, how do those
mhm.
all merge? It doesn't make sense, right? I
Well,
don't
I think
see
that
how they
you've
can fit.
taken but I think you've taken on some of the I shouldn't be who I am because you have had people, like, from when you did the Your Turn
Yeah,
about you're too much or
I
you know
am
what I mean? Like,
too much. Lord, give me
yep,
grace. Yeah, my whole
yep,
life. You are too Mel, you need to tone that down. Mel, you are too much.
yep,
And so I do see that, and I do embrace yesterday when I'm listening to the Diggity song, which if you have not
mhm.
listened to that in a long time, is
It's a good
super
time.
fun. It is really fun.
Mhm, mm,
And I can embrace who I am in
mhm,
that, with the girls in the back seat looking at me like I am a
right.
total idiot. I mean, as a matter of fact, Annabelle, my granddaughter, is like turning her head like, I am not looking at that lady. And it is so, and I think that that's even fun, right? So I have moments
Mhm,
where I feel like like that kind of, but to embody it in all of my life has really been a challenge, and the belief that I couldn't, what spirit showed me was started then, in that moment
mhm,
of that offhanded comment
mhm,
that my grandma did not mean for me to did not mean for
mhm,
me to take it on like that. That wasn't her intent.
right, right.
She really just didn't like the movie Dirty Dancing and really thought it was inappropriate that I was watching these people humping all
Well, and it
around
makes
like you.
sense because you were Pentecostal, right?
Yes,
So, it makes
and we
total
were
sense
raised
why
that
she
way, yes.
wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she really did not think I should be, as a human, watching that, and she doesn't come to me all the time, but
Mhm,
she does come to me periodically when it feels like I need a little, she from the spirit world,
Mhm.
Remember the first time she came in, Annie? When that's when I was at your house. We were doing readings
Yeah.
at your house.
Yep.
Went
Yep.
visited Annie, my family did for a week, and one of the readings we did, all of a sudden grandma came in, and I
Yep.
was like, "What are you doing here? Why are you never come to visit?" Grandpa Butch comes to visit, my dad comes, but grandma, you don't she's never come to visit me. And she came to me, she said, "I'm ready." That I was ready to receive her, and I was like, "Well, what do
Mhm.
you do?" Like, I don't right, this is what do you do up there or
Mhm.
wherever there is, which who knows? And she calls herself didn't she call herself like a what did she call herself? Like a scientist or an informational guide or
I
I
forget.
can't remember. Anyway, we'll have to see if she can come in and give me the exact words. But, she does come here to clean up some things for me about
Mhm.
me, and
Oh.
that part is lovely, but even
Mhm.
when we can see the beliefs that we have,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that don't serve us, right? We see the
Mhm.
beliefs that we have that don't serve us in moving forward. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it's super easy to just let them like, wouldn't it be great if, "Oh, I saw you and I let you go and then that was it?" Like, for some, it
Mhm.
feels easy, but for that one feels like I really have to be intentional about integrating and reminding myself, "You came here with
Mhm.
this." Like, spirit reminds me often, "Hey, you came here with that amount of joy. Remember you when you were little? Remember you when you
Mhm.
were here? Remember
Yeah,
you?
'cause you're
Remember."
connected all the way.
You right, you came here with that joy. I went to jail. I've been in jail, just so y'all know, and I was
Mhm.
so fun in jail. Oh my god, I was really a good time. Like, I can bring a good time anywhere I go. I can bring a good
Mhm.
time to anything because I ran a pizza stealing ring, which is super funny considering I ended up owning a pizza shop, but that
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I can bring a good time, but
Mhm.
not when I think it's important or not when I think it's
Well, and there's some situations
yeah,
where maybe it this doesn't feel appropriate. Like,
right. Yeah, for sure. I'm sure that there are times, but trying to bridge that consciously is challenging. And
Mhm.
I guess my point is even when you knew your right, you found a belief that you had that you no
Mhm.
longer serves you in moving forward into your purpose, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's you get to just automatically stop crying and be and behave in a new
No,
way.
yeah.
It takes some real
It
consciousness and
takes
it takes some
yeah,
time.
it takes noticing. So this is what I've figured out for me that helps me go through it. So I have thoughts in my fucking head and they like to go off. But then it doesn't get out. So I found for myself, I sit and I'm not crazy, but I might sound crazy. But I sit and I fucking have a whole conversation about, okay, I see this. And then as I keep going, like talking through it, another, like a layer of more like knowledge, or it gets
Wisdom.
me to a, yeah, it gets me to a point where I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And then so then it's kinda like the swing, right? So then another you get down.
Chink in your
And
chain.
so, yeah, one side is and then and then something else will come through, and I got the goosebumps all over. And so then, I'm like, "Okay, so that's still there, but it's not as tightly wound
Right.
as it
That's
had been."
true. Yeah.
And so it takes time. I mean, I'm
Oh,
still working
Lord, give me
through it.
grace.
I got the goosebumps everywhere, but,
Can't we just imagine it being and I'm willing to take the time. Like, look at like,
mhm,
I've gotta remind myself, I'm willing to
mhm,
take the time. I'm willing to
mhm,
enjoy the road. I'm
mhm.
willing to enjoy a smooth road. I'm willing to
Yeah, you used to
enjoy
wanna go off-road, you fucking knucklehead.
no, yeah. No, I know. Willing to enjoy a lazy river. I'm willing to enjoy those now. I no
Before she
longer
wanted fucking rapids, goddamn, I'm like, "Are you nuts?"
the therapist, Dr. Townsend, would say, "Could you imagine a lazy river instead of a raging river?" And I was like, "No fucking way." And now I'm like, "Oh, Lord, give me grace. I no longer need a raging river. I am really
Mhm.
great with, like, an old lady lazy river, like,
I'm on
with
a
an inner
tube.
tube." Right, yeah, with
Yep.
an inner tube, like,
With my
and
head back.
with my head ba and I don't even want and Imma say this, and I got 5 kids and grandkids. I don't want kids in my lazy river. Like, I don't want any
Mhm,
disruptions if possible.
mhm,
I say this thing, I accept what is mine. Like, before I get into my meditation, as I light my candle, I always think this thought. I accept what is mine, I let all else wash away. And
mhm,
it used to be when I would have that thought in my head, I thought about things that I'm resisting, like, difficult experiences.
Mhm.
And, and one day I was having the thought in my head, and it was like, as I was thinking, "I accept what is mine," all of a sudden I saw treasures and joy,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, yeah, I accept that too." Like, I accept that on my lazy river. I accept
Mhm.
all things that are mine, and we'll talk
But
about it in
sometimes
another
you are
episode about
given
blueprints, but
difficult situations to kind of
sometimes we are.
do so that you can look at it, and sometimes it might bring up a thing, like, I mean, a belief, give you something deeper to look at sometimes, not
Yeah.
always, but
Not always,
sometimes.
but sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can avoid them, sometimes they're
Mhm.
unnecessary, we're just calling it in, manifesting it in, and sometimes it's coming in to move us forward. Like, I
Yeah.
the strongest desire of my human self is to I
Yeah.
want to fully feel in this lifetime the purpose I came in here to be,
Mhm.
to feel, to experience. I wanna feel it all the fucking way. Like, I've no greater desire in my heart, in my
Mhm.
human consciousness than that, and I am willing to watch as it comes in. I'm willing to
Mhm.
accept all of the treasure. I'm willing to
Mhm.
accept the yuck that I don't really like my face
Mhm.
and my tooth right now, it just is what it is. I'm willing
Mhm.
to accept it all. I got no judgment on any of it. I don't even judge me when I feel like I'm doing it, like, when I wish I could bring more joy into whatever it is that I'm experiencing in that moment.
Or getting caught up in the moment
Yeah, like,
and
getting just
not
yeah, it's
doing,
okay.
and then you analyze it different later. Like, I had an experience, and I don't think it's a belief. It was just an experience. It was just an experience. I was at the DMV with my daughter. The lady said, "Go do this one thing, and then you can come back in." This obviously it kind of bothered me. And you don't have to take another ticket. You can just come up to my window. And so there were 2 other ladies that were sitting by me, but I didn't think that they were waiting for this girl. And I looked over, and the one lady had a ticket. So I'm assuming you've taken a new ticket, you're waiting to be called. So anyway, the person she was helping left. I went and I got in line because I didn't want her to call somebody. Well, then I hear the ladies behind me talking smack because I got in front of them. And I could hear them, and it did like bring up some, I felt bad because that wasn't my intention. My intention was to not have the lady call a number, and I wanted to just get in and get out. And the ladies could have said, "Hey, we're in front of me." You know what I mean? Like, and I would have said,
Yeah,
"Oh, shit, I'm sorry. Let's go." And so, but I felt a little, I guess, shame maybe because I was getting called out. But anyway, so, and I could have said, "I'm sorry," like, or whatever. I could have turned around, but I didn't. I don't know if I was supposed to. Like, I don't sometimes, like, situations like that, I don't know really how I was supposed to handle it. So when I got done, I just fucking left. I said nothing. And
and when
I don't know, because I think I just thought, "Well, fuck it. It's done. It's over. Let's
and
move
I
on."
do think part of becoming right, moving on our whatever path, we're on, whatever path anyone else is on, I do think that probably one of the challenges is we take every experience like we've got something in there. Like, sometimes it's
Yeah.
just in there. And I have a really and I don't know the answer to that question, like, and it keeps coming to my mind, you don't got accidents. There aren't
Yeah.
accidents. And so,
Right.
alright, so that experience was there for a reason, and
Mhm.
maybe, like, when we talk about karma, maybe there's something in there that was for them. Maybe it wasn't.
Mhm.
Now you keep thinking about it, so I do think there's something in there for you because you keep
Well, I think I went with an assumption. I assumed, because I kinda had an inkling, like, "Oh, I should ask them because maybe they're in line," and I went with an assumption. I
yeah,
saw the lady's ticket, and I assumed that she was waiting to be called because
right.
I got rid of my ticket, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
yeah.
holding on to that, and so I went with an assumption, and I shouldn't have. So I
Right.
think that's kind of my lesson, is that I should ask. I need to ask before. Like,
Yeah,
don't just assume things. And my brain loves to assume shit. It
right.
loves to. And
Yeah,
it's
you
usually never right,
yeah.
but I go with assumptions because I think I'm really good at figuring out patterns or
Right.
seeing you like, so that's what, because I came home and I talked through it, and I went with an assumption, and then I'm like, and they also could have said something and they didn't. So there was two things, like maybe they need to learn how to speak up for themselves
For
instead
sure.
of just sitting back and bitching.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I I
But this
have a
sorry, but this is
no.
life. This is the shit that goes through my mind. This is how I
Sorry,
deal
this is
with
hurting.
shit like the talking. Like I gotta talk through my shit. Like or it's never just a simple thing. Cause right, like every experience is maybe something. I'm
For
assuming all
someone,
experiences, yes, all experiences are something.
for
And
someone,
yeah,
not
yeah.
always. I mean,
Necessarily
sometimes
for
we're just
you. Yeah.
right, sometimes we're just the catalyst for someone else to have an experience that they are looking to go through.
Right. That's good.
So,
Yep. Sorry.
I will say I have another belief that came into my mind while we were chatting, while I was
Mm-hmm.
listening to you, and it was, I heard my mom when I was a kid say, "Don't get too big for your britches."
Mm-hmm.
So, I often am told well, I don't nope, that's not true. That's a wrong statement. The statement is I s I can see, hear, and feel things from spirit, right? When I'm doing readings or
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'll be in the car and I'll call in the energy of an experience and because I want some clarity on it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's so much vitriol in the world, right? I
Mm-hmm.
someone wants to convince you that climate change is real. Someone wants
Mm-hmm.
to convince you that the earth is flat. I had someone I
Mm-hmm.
know try to convince me that they take aborted baby parts and put them in Oreo cookies. All of Nabisco has them. Because there are people that feel so strongly and they'll try
Mhm,
to convince me about something. Now,
mhm,
I am not easily convinced, although I would call myself sometimes kind of naive, but I don't think that that
mhm,
matters here. But
right,
as a kid, my mom would say, "Don't get too big for your britches,"
mhm,
meaning don't think you're something that you're not.
mhm,
And as through our spiritual awakening and through the experiences that I've had being able to see, hear, and feel things from spirit,
mm,
I sometimes will say things like, well, I'm not sure if I know this is true, but I know it's true for me.
right,
Like I gave a reading the other day. It was a cold reading, just meaning they sent in a thing and I don't know the person. Their energy comes in when I get in the connecting state. And my
mhm,
assumption is spirit knows who's going to get that reading. I mean, I don't know.
right,
And I always wait to see how spirit wants to connect. But I tend to do this thing because it's in the back of my mind. Don't get too big for your britches. Don't pretend you know everything. Well, I don't know everything for everyone. Even more
right,
now because I don't know the purpose you came here with. I don't know. And I am
mhm,
not going to assume, but I think I err on the side of now I almost know nothing. Do you know what I mean?
mhm.
I'm so
I
afraid
go
to
to the
be
I don't know.
confident. Yeah.
Mhm,
I feel like I have a belief that I would like to have spirit work through this with me on that especially when I'm reading the energy, I do know. At
mhm,
least I know what I'm shown, what I hear, and what I feel, right?
right,
So it doesn't mean I'm always going to spit it out of my mouth correctly, but I
right,
do know, right? So sometimes my words get jumbled or I put too much emphasis on a word that didn't need as much emphasis. But I do know what I saw, what I heard, and what I felt. Those are
mhm,
true. And so even doing this podcast, part of my hesitation is always like, well, don't think you know it all. You're not so
right,
awesome, right? I had this
yeah,
experience. I've been asking spirit to work with me on this. And so
mhm,
in that same vein, I was looking to meet other people who can also read energy.
mhm,
And I started placing some calls and, I don't know, found their numbers on the websites, whatever. I mean, people put your number on the website, then don't get pissed if you get a phone call. Well, not
mhm,
that she was pissed. So I called this lady. She answered. She asked me a little bit about myself. She told me a little bit about herself. And then, why are you calling? And so I told her, I said, listen, I've discovered I have this ability to read energy and I'm looking to learn. Like, how
mhm,
do other people do it? Because again, I have this belief that I am going to get too big for my britches
yeah,
and pretend that I know something for everyone
mhm,
that maybe isn't true. And who the fuck are
right.
you? Like, you're nobody from fucking the UP of Michigan. Like, you
Well,
are
and the way you do it might not isn't probably isn't the way they do it.
right.
Everyone does it their own way.
So this woman
So
starts ranting at me. "Oh, there's
Mhm.
all these people getting a hold of me. You're just using me to blah, 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 blah," whatever I mean, she went off the rails. This is a person who's
But maybe
I
that's what she was supposed to do.
no, for real, she totally was. I felt
Mhm.
like this was a person who was, from all intents and purposes, my assumption is they were spiritually inclined. They
Mhm.
had the ability to read energy, some of the specific things that drew me to this person's website. And now you are screaming at me on the
Mhm.
phone when I'm calling looking for guidance or looking for
Mhm.
community or looking for assurance, maybe. I don't know, right? I don't
Yeah.
know. And finally, she finally finishes, and I did the thing that I do. I'm like, "I don't know why you're assuming all of these
Mhm.
things about me. I'm calling looking for connection, looking for community, looking for something. I don't know what it is.
Right.
Maybe I'm looking for this. Maybe I'm here to tell you, actually, I do think I trust me." And in
Mhm.
that moment, I did get, as my mother would have said, "You got too big for your britches." I think I did get too big for my britches in that phone call when I informed her all the ways that I've, feel like what I get is true.
Mhm.
But I know that I still have that belief in me. I do
Mhm.
think that if we, talk about the manifesting world, I do think that that is a limitation on me and my own spiritual and professional growth.
Mhm.
And I do know that sometimes when I talk to people about this stuff, I err on the side of I'm wrong, right? I err on the side of I might be wrong. Anyway,
See, and
and
I
so
always
that's
think that you err on the side of I'm always right.
yeah. When I'm with you, I feel like I can say what feels true to me, but when I'm
Mhm.
with others, you and I've been friends for a long time, so
Mhm.
I don't need you to approve of me. I know that you love
Mhm.
me, even on the times that
Mhm.
you don't approve of me, right? Like, you
Mhm.
love me anyway. So I don't have to try to do a thing. But
Mhm.
for others, I do feel like, and I was at a get together this past weekend with a bunch of spiritually inclined people. And
Mhm.
yesterday, one of them came over and told me how the day after we all got together, apparently there was a big yammarama about Mel. And
Really?
yeah, I just discovered that yesterday. And a
Mhm.
couple of things came up. And one was the one lady was like, I think she's got some real self esteem issues because she says, like, well, I don't know if that's true. Or, how do I know for sure if that's real? And I was like,
But I don't.
but I don't know if it's real. I
I go
don't
through
always know. I only know
well,
what is real is what I see, feel, and hear is real to me, right? I don't
but I
know if
think
that's
it's
right for you.
well, and the thing is like, because I was learning about that too because my husband called me out on it. He goes, "You always go through and you're working out something in your head and you're going through and telling all this stuff, and then at the end, you're like, 'And I don't know.'"
And I don't
But
know.
that's, like, what I was reading is, like and you don't know because everything is so vast and there's never one set answer, and it's kind of putting your ego aside to admit, "And I don't know."
And I
This is what
don't
makes sense to me as I'm t talking through it, but at the
yeah,
same time, I don't really know. That's
right.
just where I'm going with it. That's what I'm assuming, but I don't know that that's true.
But I don't know if it's true for everyone. I only know that what it feels like to me feels true for me, right? Like
Right,
people might end up listening to this podcast. Who knows if anyone's going to? But anyway, but if they do, what feels true for you?
right.
My brother feels he's so convict. He has so much conviction about
Mhm,
his religion. I have 2 brothers who feel so strongly in their convictions for their very different religions.
mhm.
That's fine. That might be
Right,
true for them.
right,
Spirit might be keep giving them, like the manifesting culture, all the things. They keep proving that they're right to themselves.
right. Yeah,
It doesn't mean it's right for me, and
right.
I think that that is this it is it's a real motherfucker. It really is.
Well, I
Oh, I
think
used
the
to
thing
have
is
more certainty before the awakening than I have after the awake now, before I used to think it was one way. I really did. I mean, remember you and I having
mhm,
conversations about politics or about all these things? We really did think that there was one right
mhm,
way. We did.
yeah.
Would you agree?
Well, and because we've always been taught that this is I mean, you got laws to tell you how to act and what's okay and what isn't okay, and there's you're taught all these beliefs and, like, I don't really care to go down the religion pathway, but, like, you're taught that, like, because your parents went to a church, now you're expected to go to that church, and you're supposed to expected to take on these beliefs because that's how you're gonna get to heaven or whatever the thing is. And yeah, I don't know where the
I don't know, but I do know that it is really I find that I have less judgment now and
mhm,
way more curiosity, and
uh-huh,
my willingness to be right seems more diminished than my willingness to be wrong. Does that make sense?
yeah. Well, I still get caught up in a little bit of judgment. I do. And then I have to bring it back to, and I guess that's what was supposed to happen or whatever. Like I have to bring it back, like, and not go judgy.
Yeah.
But my mind loves to go judgy.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I love like I'm like, "I can't believe you'd fucking do that," or whatever, and it's like, "And you don't fucking know what's right for
For
that
them.
person." Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
but
I Mhm.
it can be a real
It is really a challenge, I think, to
I was
be
thinking
in
last
this
night
community.
as you said that it was easier when you were before the awakening. I was thinking that too because now I think sometimes I get hyper fixated on a certain thing, and so instead of just letting it happen,
Mhm.
I'm, like, overanalyzing it, so then the information or doesn't come through, like,
Yeah.
it's almost like a wall's up,
Mhm.
and whereas before I just lived life because I was like, "And this is a one and done, and I'm just gonna go about it, and nothing's gonna change or something's gonna change," but kinda just floating through.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people do, but then I'm assuming because right? But that's where I was thinking last night, I was like, it was kind of easier to stay more open, I guess, than now because I'm always like, I'm analyzing shit, and that is part of like, I've done all the numerology and all of those different, astrologies and all this stuff, and then I like, one of my things is going into isolation and then, like, and absorbing all this stuff, and then I need to come out of it, but so I analyze the shit out of some things,
Yeah.
and I need to like, right now, I'm supposed to be moving out of that.
Well, I thought it was easy because I back then knew all the answers to everything.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Mhm.
I knew everything. I knew everything. I mean, there was nothing I didn't know. Ask me. You should definitely ask me. I have the answers of everything, and you're wrong. And that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's right. And
And what
even
the
when
fuck were you thinking?
and yeah, I mean, I knew it and now I feel like I know hardly nothing. And it is
Yeah.
so and I think that that is more challenging to remember that what all I feel like I need to know is what is right for me to move forward into the greatest version of my life's purpose, my soul's purpose in this lifetime. I want
Mhm.
that so much. So if that's where I'm going, then this is only right. For sure it feels like it's right for me.
Mhm.
And my
Well, and that's the
assumption
thing,
is
like
I don't know about anyone else. I
right.
guess if and I so how I'm watching kids. I got some kids in this neighborhood, right? I live
Mhm.
in a nice neighborhood with these kids and no one rides a bike anymore. They're all
Oh,
riding
yeah.
electric everythings. And you
Mhm.
got these little kids, like young, like really young,
Mhm.
riding these motored things so swiftly. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm thinking to myself, they don't even know the rules of the road.
Yeah.
Like, it is and I will say this because with my eyeballs, I know they don't because 'cause they're
Mhm.
riding it all fucking up, right? Like,
Yep.
cutting
Ours try and ride it in, like, main busy roads.
oh, they ride it on the roads, like, on not
Yeah.
just in the neighborhood, but on the roads that are around I
Yes.
mean, and they don't know the rules of the road to save their little lives, and I
No.
know that I could say that with confidence because they literally aren't following the actual rules of the road.
Yeah.
And one day, there was one I was turning in, a kid on one of these scooter things or motor things were turning out, and another car was coming, and
Oh, Jesus.
we're going on a busy road, right? And this
Yeah.
kid is looks like to me, he gonna get hit. And maybe not
Mhm.
today, maybe never, whatever, I don't know. And
Right.
I was thinking to myself how much I wanted to judge the parent, like, where the fuck what is
Mhm.
happening? I wanna
Mhm.
judge everybody. And so I find myself wanting to judge, and then I'm like, "I don't know, maybe
Mhm.
he's here for a short lifetime. What the fuck?
Exactly.
He's meant to be in a coma. Maybe he's meant to be cracked. I don't know." So I find that I really want to judge. I think how
Mhm.
much I want to judge all the time. I think
Yeah.
I want to judge often. And then I'm
Mhm.
like, "What do you judge? Who the fuck are you?" I
Mhm.
don't I'll be excited when we do a religious episode, but because I was raised in Pentecostal, so very, very strongly enforced religious,
Mhm.
reasonings and whatever's theology, and I
But you should have been taught not to judge.
there was a thing in the Bible, right, about judge not, and everyone was judging everyone. Like, I remember as a kid, my mom and dad are divorced. My mom and my biological dad are divorced, and the pastor was up on the where he was preaches from, yelling
Mhm.
at my mom from the pulpit. We called it the pulpit. At
Mhm.
my at my literal mom and sitting in a pew, and they're all judging. He was
Mhm.
judging her and saying it out loud. People would
Yep.
come up to her. I mean, you wanna talk about and I don't know that they were the judgiest people I've ever met because, but I will say I remember as a little kid knowing we shouldn't be judging, and now I think to myself, I know why we shouldn't be judging, because I don't know why the
Mhm.
fuck you're here, literally,
Yeah.
and it
Mhm.
doesn't mean you don't get human consequences.
Mhm.
That is not true either. There are human consequences for every action has a right? Those are
Mhm.
laws of the universe. There's an opposing right, a reaction to every action taken. So and there are consequences in this lifetime and in wherever the fuck all the other places are. I mean, I don't even know if it's a place, but so it doesn't mean you don't get out of your human consequences. But as a family, we were judged. I felt like we were all so judged when I was in a religious upbringing. And now I think, gosh, I can't. I wanted to judge someone in my family one time. And then I asked
Mhm.
spirit, I try not to read energy that isn't right. Like I like to wait till someone wants me to
Don't invade.
I do
Yeah.
not wanna invade anyone else's private energy space, but I will ask spirit to give me information so that I can have more understanding in my own heart, and
Mhm.
I was like, I don't understand why I was having this experience with someone. Why, whatever. So then spirit gave me some answers on the energy of that experience, and it was, "She's meant to be as shallow as sand." Not deep
Mhm.
sand, like sand on a driveway,
Yeah.
sand on a like, she ain't meant to go deep with you, my friend, right? Quit
Yeah.
holding her to the standard that everyone needs to go deep and dig into their bullshit and therapy it
Mhm.
out. No, that shit ain't for
Yeah.
everyone either. It's not and I
Yeah.
should and it because it's not for everyone because it's not for her. And I wanted to have
Mhm.
this deep and connecting relationship with this person, and no, no. Can you just keep it sugar
Yeah.
fancy, right? Like, it's like cotton candy is the deepness that this person is meant to go. And
Have you
I
ever
would
felt taken over? Like my husband, like Tony and I were going through our stuff, and it felt like at times, like it wasn't me saying the things to him. Like I was saying stuff that I wouldn't have said before. Have you had that
yeah,
experience?
yeah, mhm, yeah, like and then you look back and you go, "Whoa, I didn't say that, but that sure came out
I'm
of my
like,
mouth.
well, and I told him, I'm like, and I don't think like
That wasn't me."
I wouldn't have yeah, I don't think that I mean, and I know that sounds like when you don't want to take accountability, but I don't
That
think I
ain't it.
would have said it like that. I would have maybe thought some things in my head,
Yeah.
but I think sometimes, like we're all supposed to help other people go
Well,
through
and
or
if you
hear
are
things.
open enough for spirit to
Yeah.
come through, then spirit will. And
Yeah.
I will say sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, and that wasn't me, but obviously some shit
But it
was
came out of
needing
my
to get
mouth.
said." Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't have
Mhm.
and maybe I would have said it, but maybe not like that or maybe and for me, I always know it when it's softer
Mhm. Mhm.
because Mel
Mhm.
would
Mhm.
not have said it like that.
I would have went balls deep in.
That
Mhm.
was definitely not for me. That was way too soft.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, beliefs are really and they are tricky because sometimes we don't know we have. So do you think we
Mhm.
answered the questions the things that we were gonna hit at the beginning? Like, I feel like
I know that, because the just popping in, like, I have stuff that comes up that I wanna say, and it's part of the vulnerability, and I keep it in, and I don't say it. Like, there's a lot that I would like to say to Tony, especially about his, like, health stuff, and, I don't, and I gotta start saying stuff.
Well, okay, we could talk about this on another episode too, but
Yeah.
sometimes I say this all the time, or I've come to say this very
Mhm.
often. If what I'm feeling needs to be said, make sure that door is so open, I would have to consciously walk around it. So
Mhm.
if there's something you feel like you need to say or that, you want to say,
I think some of it
then
is
make
just
sure that door is
it's
open. And then when it
yeah.
is open, you gotta walk through it even when it's hard. I do feel like
Mhm.
they will give you opportunities to walk through the door, right? Just
Mhm.
like you with the construction people that came over, right? Give me
Yeah.
the opportunity to grow in this way if it is for my highest good and the highest good of all. If that is true, get that door so I ask for a door that is so
Mhm.
open I would have to walk a mile that way, then walk another mile and walk back to get to not do the thing.
Mhm.
So I would say
Well, I think mine is like it's not even like telling him what I think he should do or, because yet again, I don't fucking know what he's supposed to. I do, but I don't. But kind of showing my vulnerability and how it's affecting me. And then I feel like you're such a selfish bitch. Like you're not the one going through it. Like that's kind of my mind saying like,
yeah,
and you're selfish to then turn it back on to how you feel.
I think I don't know, but I think maybe I don't think that's true. If I mean, not that it isn't true for you, but I feel like
Mhm.
who's to say you're selfish because you want your person to understand how you're
Mhm.
feeling through it? That doesn't sound like
Mhm.
selfishness. That sounds like a relationship, right?
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
I mean,
Yeah.
that isn't selfish. That's a relationship.
Well, and I think too, part of it is then I'm gonna be fucking crying again.
Right, and that so I do feel like that's still working on your stuff, actually, and it's fine because again, any beliefs that we have, even when we know that they're there, it doesn't make them walk away right away. It just allows us to at least be
No,
aware
because
enough.
it does when you get like a piece of it and it starts to unravel a little bit, you're like,
Mhm.
"It feels so good." And then you're like, "And bitch, you ain't done yet."
You ain't done yet. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah. Oh god. There's so much we ain't done with
Yeah.
yet, which is,
Yeah.
whatever. I hope that I can have more joy on the ride.
Mhm.
Well, I do
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is good for some beliefs. What do you think, Annie?
I think we did good.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's
all right.
good.
Yeah,
I think it was fun.
I think it was fun. So
And I
if
got junior mint.
I love Junior Mints. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm going to go to the dollar store and get some. My mouth is so terrible that I have to have
Oh,
anything soft
yeah.
so I don't bite hard because if I do, I can't feel this whole
Mhm.
side of my mouth. Anyway, now we're on a
Mhm.
tangent of my face, but oh Lord, give me grace. I love Junior Mints. All right. Okay. So this is Mel. And we'll be back on another day with some more shit to talk about. Have a great
Yep.
day.
Bye.
See you.